تحية لكل مشاهدي ام تي في. صار حان موعدكم مع حلقة جديدة من ام تي في. اليوم ضيوفنا بالحلقة حيكونوا مميزين. بداية حنتعرف على ديفيد بيرس اللي هو عضو بفرقة أنا لام، وهو مغني، وأيضا حيخبرنا أكثر كيف انطلقت هذه الفرقة وعن سبب تواجده بلبنان وتحضيره لجولة العام المقبل مع عدد كبير من الأسامي بعالم الروك. David Pierce, how are you? We're glad to have you in at MTV.
It's great to be in the best city in the Middle East.
You're welcome anytime, David. So, David, as Muhammad just introduced, you're the founder of NLM,
right?
No Longer Music. Tell us a bit about the band. How did it start? How many people are in there in the band? Then we'll talk a bit about like the performances, because you have a unique performance, let's say.
Okay, well, the band started in Amsterdam back in 1987, and so the main reason I started the band is I wanted to have a church for punks and anarchists. And so one day I was thinking about how to do this, and so I decided to start a band. And because I couldn't play any musical instruments, I would be the singer. And I got a guy from Norway who had a big mohawk, and he took this old bass guitar that didn't stay in tune, and so he's my bass player. And my guitarist was from California, and I called him Kip, which means chicken in Dutch. And he said that he found his guitar, and my drummer called himself Oma Butler, which means Grandma Butler.
Grandma, so you have a chicken and a grandma.
Right, and he's from Amsterdam, and he had this old beat-up drum kit, and we didn't, one cymbal with a big bite taken out of it, and we didn't have a stand to put the cymbal on, so he tied a rope from the cymbal to the ceiling.
Just to have it hanging there.
And yeah, and then the drummer would hit it and swing back and forth like that, and then one time it hit him in the head, and he started bleeding, and I'm going, special effects! And we were trying to come up with a good name for our band, and someone said, that's No Longer Music, and so that's what we decided to call our band.
Wow, that's how the whole story started.
It's evolved since then. We're much better now.
It's evolved, and the number of bands, now you can afford buying the drums, no?
Yeah, that's right, that's right, yes. And now we have actually good musicians in the band, except for the singer.
Except for the singer, which is you?
Me, yes, yes.
But did you just know how the way, I love the idea there that you love music and you want to go into there, you just never knew how to play an instrument, so you started a band.
Yes.
And for the band to exist, they need a singer. You just forced yourself to be their singer.
That was the way that I could be in the band, yes. Yes.
This was in 1987, and now in 2010 we know that you're going to perform with David Welch.
Yes.
Why did you choose
Yes, well, we're talking about doing a collaboration with Brian Head Welch. He used to play in Korn. And he's had a very dramatic, life-changing experience. You know, he was really almost ready to, he was almost going to die because he was doing so much meth and amphetamines and stuff. He was really on the verge of dying. And he had this real spiritual experience where Jesus himself actually came to him and completely changed his life. And that's really a message that I'm very passionate about. And so we want to do a collaboration together and come here to Lebanon.
So it's because you found meaning in life, let's say.
Yeah, absolutely.
And to go a bit backwards to the band, because we moved a bit faster there. It's like,
yes,
okay, the band started, but it has grown, as we said. It has grown because you've, let's say, recruited new band members.
Yes.
And even your kids, we know that they have become part of the band. Tell us a bit about like the diversity in the band.
Yeah, well, I have two Polish dancers, and I have someone from Brazil who plays guitar, and I have someone else who plays violin from Germany, and someone who, we have different actors. I have an actor from Finland and also from the US and New Zealand, so it's a very international band.
And we talked a bit about actors.
Yes.
I guess Muhammad wants to know a bit more about the actors.
I would like to know who designed the set on stage for your performance.
Well, again, it's been an evolution. So we used to, when we first started, we actually worked with somebody who worked with Fred Astaire, and she was in Singing in the Rain. Yeah, she's died, but she helped us in the original days and helped us, design our stage. And we do a lot of things with shadow boxes and stuff like that. And so we learned a lot from her. And her name is Dorinda Nelson, and she has a theater company in Prague, in the Czech Republic, and so that's where we got a lot of our stage design.
And that's how you launched the whole thing, let's say.
Yeah.
So now people watching us know that you can play music, but we didn't talk a bit about the acting part.
Yes.
You mix the music with an acting part.
Yes.
Tell us a bit about this mix, this blend, because it's unique.
Yeah, well, again, we don't want, we're not just music, but everything is very visual. So, yeah, how can I explain it? Well, like the second half of our show, it starts like this, and I go, the world wants to put you in a cage, like a rat on a wheel. I don't want to live in a rat cage. I don't want to die in a rat cage. I'm so sick of the rat cage. Sick of the rat cage lies. Sick of the rat cage jokes. There's still time to change the road you're on. It's time to meet the ultimate life force.
And that's how you bring the people into
that. Yeah, and then this giant angel comes behind me. With like on stilts with these LCD lights, with giant wings, and so it's to show just this yeah, it's hard to explain, but that's how the second half of the show is.
So acting, music.
Yes.
And we know that you've been touring around the world.
Yes.
What's next? Where are you going next?
Well, we're looking at doing some stuff in Europe and in South America. And also we want to come back here in Lebanon, hopefully next year with Brian Head Welsh and do a collaboration together.
That's great. Let's translate a bit for our audience about the message we were saying. يعني بنعرف انه اليوم ديفيد بيرسكي عم بيحكي عن اهميه تعامله اكيد مع ديفيد ويلش اللي هو كان عضو بفرقه كوين الروك اللي هي كثير مهمه واليوم انفصل عنا، وحنشوف بعد لحظات بحلقتنا ضمن ام تي في المقابله اللي بيعلن فيها ديفيد ويلش انفصاله عن كوين وانضمامه لأنا لملة حتى يعملوا تور بلبنان العام المقبل. هو اليوم عم بيجري بعد الاتصالات لحتى ينسق للكونسرت الكبير اللي حيحصل بلبنان العام المقبل. كما انه كمان حكينا عن الستيج كيف عم بيكون اكثر ميوزيكال وقد ايه في استعراض ومين عم بيساعده انه يوضع الديزاين وكيف يقدر يوصل موسيقته بالطريقه الانسب للاودينس تبعوله.
Very true. Let's talk a bit now. I know that you have a DVD you're trying to work on and a musical album.
Yes.
Give us like few insights, like few tips for the audience watching.
Well, okay.
The DVD, it's going to be based on the tours you've been touring around the country.
Yeah. I have to tell you about a tour that we did in Russia, because we were playing in Siberia, and we were actually playing after a band that wanted everyone to commit suicide. And so I went out on the stage, and the guy who worked with me actually worked with U2. And wow. he was with us on that tour. But I have to tell you his story. He was staying in 5-star hotels, and he went from 5-star hotels to sleeping under a bridge because he started doing heroin. And one day a guy walked up to him on the street and said, "I want to pray for you." And he goes, "Get away from me, I'm trying to sell my drugs." And he goes, "I want to pray for you." And the guy goes, "All right, if you'll just leave me alone." So he put his hand on his shoulder, and when he did, he flew through the air. So he's like, it's like all the people around him thought somebody had punched him. And the guy who was praying for him was like afraid because he thought, what's happening?
Yeah.
And he's laying on the ground, and he said he felt this energy going through his body, like electricity, and he said it was love.
And that's when he changed.
And that's and he saw that when he saw that Jesus wasn't just this religious thing that that a lot of people think, but he actually saw that he was love, and that's when he decided he wanted to know Jesus, this Jesus. And so that's a big message in our band. So we're playing at this
there's
in
a spiritual
Siberia.
message behind your music.
Yeah, absolutely.
And to which type do you think your music belongs?
The style of music?
Yes.
Just, I don't know, it's kind of alternative
gothic punk
kind of stuff, yeah.
It's like the Osborne family.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
لكن عم نسأله أكيد عن الرسالة اللي بتكون يعني من خلال الموسيقى تبعه بتكون أكثر spiritual وأكثر إنسانية وعن الحب والعطاء ضمن الموسيقى بوجهة نظره اللي هو عم بيكون بيتبناها وعم بيجرب يوصلها. بالآخر بتختلف يمكن وجهات النظر إلي بالموسيقى، بس الموسيقى هي وسيلة الواحد يقدر يعبر عن أفكاره ويوصل المسج تبعه. ديفيد بيرس أكيد مثل ما سبق وقلنا لكم إنه حيكون عنده تعامل بلبنان العام المقبل مع ديفيد هيد ويلش، وكان سبق حضرنا معه اللي هو عضو باحد اهم فرق الباند هند كوين مع براين هيد ويلش. حيكون في انترفيو، شو رايك نشوف الانترفيو مع بعض؟ نحضر.
So let's watch the interview.
Okay, great.
I got wrapped up in the lifestyle of just the money, the fame, and when you get so huge like Korn was, like all the drug dealers will show up at your concert and they'll bring all the girls, so it's a party and it looks like big fun. But after years and years of just doing that, it's like a kid in a candy store. If you eat the candy all day, every day you're gonna get sick. So all that partying and stuff just was wearing on me, but I kept doing it because that's all I knew. That's all I knew. It's like to feel good, you know. We were just in it to feel good. So I just kept partying, and the dark depression came in, and even the drugs, snorting lines and stuff, couldn't get me high enough to take the dark depression from me. But I kept doing it because that's all I knew. I was a closet like meth user, and they didn't even know it. Like I took it to all over the world, and they had no clue. I would just go in my hotel because I was just like so addicted, you know. I mean, you hear about all these musicians and actors or whatever, like dying from like mixing uppers and downers, all these pills and stuff. I mean, I did every single drug but heroin, and I was with my methamphetamine. I was doing it during the day, and then I'd take Xanax before my show with Korn so I wouldn't be all shaky. I'd play the show, like jump around everywhere. Afterwards, I'd do probably about, I don't know, anywhere from like 5 to 8 big lines of crystal meth. At like 4 a.m., I'd take more Xanax and go to sleep. So my heart was going. I left Korn because I had a spiritual awakening. I went to a church and I found out like they just said that Jesus was real, you know. And what happened was a couple weeks after I heard that at the church, I was thumbing through my Bible on the crystal meth one day, and I was just thinking to myself, is this real? And I felt at that moment like deep affection like poured out into me and around me. It was the invisible God just like pouring out his affections for me. I left Korn because I wanted to just die to my old life, and I wanted to do something adventurous and try something new and follow Christ to a new, awesome, adventurous lifestyle. I think that one of the biggest lies is that God is a religion, and it's not religion. It's a relationship, one-on-one. Jesus Christ will make you feel like you're the only one walking on earth. Like he does that with everybody that believes in him. I mean, he's just so loving. He just pours love out into you and takes care of you like so deeply. And it's just like, it's all about relationship, man. So the big lie is just religion. People of Lebanon, I want to say, invite me there. I want to come there and play some hardcore, heavy music, man. But just praying that that God would just sweep through there and like show people that he's not about religion, and that he's real and he loves them, and if he could change some wacko like drug addicted loser like me, you know, he can sweep in there and reveal himself to everyone there, you know, and change is here, you know, if you just want to take it.
هيدا كان الانترفيو اكيد مع ديفيد هادواش براين هادواش اللي كان عم بيحكي عن سبب انفصاله وتركه لفرقه كوين وانضمامه لأنلم، وكيف حيكون التعامل معه، قد هو محمس انه يكون موجود بلبنان لحتى يوصل المسج ويوصل موسيقته اللي بعض الاشخاص بيحبوها. يعني بنعرف في اشخاص بيحبوا الروك، في اشخاص بيفضلوا غير انواع، حتى الروك هو نسبه يعني راح صوتي مع الروك صار صوتي
يعني بنعرف محمد في انواع مختلفه بالموسيقى وانواع مختلفه بالروك. David, we want to thank you again for being over here in Lebanon and sharing with us your international experience, let's say. So all the luck in all your projects, and we had the pleasure of meeting you today. هلا محمد، نحن حننتقل لوقفه قصيره ونرجع نكمل حلقتنا.